Please.
Every Monday.
I hear the two. And you perpetuating them kind of nastiness.
St. Lucia's latest hot radio drama.
Of course, I want to say good evening, good night. And of course, I want to say welcome to another hot episode of St. Lucia's hottest radio drama, I Write. And let me tell you something. Tonight, you see, tonight it's going to be hot. Ikai show. So stand by as we bring you episode 17 of the program, I Write.
Previously on I Write.
You not see what happened there?
Baby, come on, just listen. You're probably still in shock.
Don't touch me!
Cynthia, Lincoln, stay put. John, come.
So,
Cuff him.
So, you
Cynthia, you
arresting me now? You arresting me?
Frankly, Evan Georges, there are things about you that do not make the cut for the direction in which the hotel is going. Mr. George, we do not like your type.
My type?
Hey, Ev, I had a launching an investigation against you, eh?
An investigation against me? About what?
They say you on the down low.
But bro, Ron, I'm married.
Precisely. They say you hiding. But who am I to judge?
So that's why the people let me go? So the HR rep told me that I was not fired, but suspended.
So what's the difference?
Well, I think when you're suspended, it's for a time, and you can return to your work after a time. And there's also suspended with pay or without pay. Anyway, that's what they told me at the labor department. And fired, well, that's final exit.
And you were?
Suspended.
Without pay?
Yep.
Until when?
Well, that's just the thing. She says she cannot tell me. And then when I asked what's the reason?
What did they say?
Well, nothing really. Just that I was being investigated.
For what?
Could you imagine? The woman told me that I was suspended because of my type.
Your type?
Yes. And honey, do you know what that type is?
No.
Are you ready for this one, Louise?
I don't think I am, eh?
They think I am gay.
What? Are you serious?
Oh, yes, my dear. Your husband lost his job because he's gay.
You're joking, Evan.
Yeah.
Are you serious? But how?
Louise, my dear, apparently, I look gay.
You look gay. My gosh. Are you sure that's what they told you?
Well, not the supervisor, but for her, she said type. One of the workers that said gay, but that's not even all.
Go on, Evan.
Well, she did not even want to mention it. It was Ron, from maintenance. He told me about what was running around the hotel.
And what was that?
Okay, well, you remember that time when I gave Al a day pass for his birthday?
You mean that was mentioned?
Yes. They're trying to connect the dots with Al and I. If Al is gay, and he's my friend, and I give him a day pass for the hotel, then I must be gay.
So that means they fired you. No, I don't think so. Not the hotel, not for being gay.
Well, not fired, suspended.
Sorry, suspended you. On false speculation?
But still, to think that an establishment would relieve someone from their job because of his or her sexual orientation, that's preposterous.
Okay, seriously, Evan. That isn't acceptable. That's... No. We have to do something about that.
I say that to you.
I know you're not privy to that information before you went to that labor department, Evan, but I think we have enough to make a case. We just have to be sure about it.
Louise, even Eve came up.
But why?
But Eve used to work at the hotel, eh?
Really?
Well, yeah, for a short time she did.
And what happened?
Well, Ron said something about Eve being drunk and kissing a guest.
She was working?
No, he said she was off and she was just enjoying herself.
So, could they have let her go because of that?
Actually, I think she's the one who quit because of the ostracizing and all the discrimination, you know?
I'm almost sure that they were the ones who let her go. No pay at that. As I said, that just have to stop. That have to stop.
I completely agree. But wait, coming to think of it, the hotel has never fired anyone for being gay. They actually make a point of hiring LGBTQ. So, you know, Ron might be wrong. Maybe he was fired for something else.
Maybe. But we'll have to find out, Evan. I wonder if that's why Eve does not want to stay here.
But what do you mean?
Evan, you need to talk to your sister a bit more. Maybe you might find out something very interesting about your place of work.
When? Please, can I see Lincoln?
Cynthia, I don't think it's appropriate for you to be here right now.
I want to talk to him, please.
Cynthia, Lincoln just hit you. The blood not even dry on your face yet. See?
Owen, you know he's not too well. He just got out of the hospital.
Cynthia, he better than both of us put together, eh? He walked out of the hospital. He walked out, nothing broken, nothing missing.
But,
Cynthia,
Owen.
Cynthia, let him take his punishment. Let Lincoln pay for his crime.
Owen, Lincoln is not well. He needs to see me. I need to see him. He must be in his cell all alone, cold, maybe dying.
Trust me, Sissy. Trust me, he's not dying.
But I just need to see him. I need to see him. Have pity, have a heart.
Cynthia, how you can say that to me? You saw how he tried to attack me for protecting you. He tried to attack me for that, even after he hit you.
But he needs me, Owen. Lincoln needs me.
All right. Okay. I'll let you see him. But promise me you'll stay strong. Don't let him try to convince you to do anything.
Okay.
Talk to him firm. Don't let him see you afraid of him. You need to stand your ground, Cynthia.
But he's my husband.
I know he's your husband, but he doesn't love you.
How could you say that? You are supposed to be his friend.
I'm sorry, Cynthia, but I'm only calling it as I see it.
Owen, it is not about you. Can't you see that?
Okay, I give up.
It's not.
But open your eyes, Sissy. Please, open your eyes. Try and see what's happening around you before it's too late.
Hello?
Eve, it's me, Louise.
Oh, hi, Louise.
Evie, what's the matter?
Lou, I just cannot understand what is happening.
You know it will be okay in the end.
No, it won't. I've made a mess of everything. It was all my fault. And now my father's in jail and there's nothing I can do about it.
That's not true, Eve. You did nothing wrong.
Of course. Louise, if I did not come back home, all of this would not have happened. Heck, if I was not a lesbian, my father would be here, in his house with his family.
That's not true, Eve. Your father is just paying for his wicked ways. You know what he has done to you, to your mother.
Yes, Lulu, but he was quarreling with me when he suffered the heart attack.
Stop it, Eve. It's because of his lack of anger management and poor diet. And he's in jail because he can't become a murderer with all them blows he did in your mother. What if she had died? Whose fault would it have been, huh? You'd blame yourself?
I don't know. His, I guess.
Then stop blaming yourself. All you ever wanted was to love him and be close to him.
But he kept pushing me away, as if I had leprosy. I know I have done so much for him.
Yep, avoiding you like a plague, right?
I've really been through a lot in my life, you know.
You and Evan both with this job situation of his.
What?
Yeah.
Evan?
Yeah, I was just chatting with Evan, and if you heard the nonsense.
About his previous job?
Well, I don't even know if we can call it previous because they told him he was not fired but suspended.
Suspended? So, when will he be returning?
No idea.
So what nonsense is that?
There's more.
Yes, tell me, girl.
You sure you're ready to hear that?
Girl, like last year.
Okay. Your brother, Evan, is G-A-Y. Gay.
What? No.
Girl, yes, pal. When he asked why he was being, oh yeah, and by the way, he's been investigated.
Really?
Well,
For water?
when he asked why he was suspended, he was told it was because of his type, quote unquote.
Wow.
Well, can you believe this actually happens there, Eve? And nothing for that?
Louise, this kind of nonsense happens all the time. You may not hear about it, but it happens all the time.
But wait, Eve, I did not even know that you worked at that hotel as well.
So how did you know?
Well, it even came up at the hotel.
But how?
Well, your escapades came...
My escapades? Hello, listen, I was off.
Well, that was also said that you were off and you were partying, kissing girls and all.
But how and why should that affect your job?
Exactly. Does the hotel have a policy that deals with that?
No, they don't. And all the others were kissing their boyfriends and they still work there.
What a thing, eh? Oh my gosh.
So how do you think Evan got his job?
What?
Yep, you were asking why we may not see eye to eye.
Cynthia, I know this is not about me, but I'm concerned about your well-being.
Owen, I will be okay.
Cynthia, Lincoln almost killed you and you keep downplaying his actions, man.
It's not that, Owen. When I got married, I promised I would stay by his side, regardless of our struggles. I cannot break that vow now.
Did he vow to beat you till death?
Of course not.
Exactly. There's nothing that states a woman should remain in an abusive relationship like that because of vows. Not even a good book saying that, and you know that.
But he's the father of our children.
Then do it for your children. If not for you, your children or even your grandchildren. Trudy, you want Trudy to grow up thinking that an abusive husband is the acceptable way to go?
Well, no.
Precisely. Do something about it. Cynthia.
But Lincoln is...
Lincoln will not hurt you anymore. He locked up. And I will ensure that it is going to be that way for some time. Press charges, Cynthia.
I can't, Owen. He's my husband. And what will people think?
Don't worry about people. What people say, what people think, that's not important. You are the one getting hurt. Each time is you. He who feels it knows it. And you feeling it. You know it.
Yes, I know, but my anniversary...
No but, Cynthia. He right here in a cell right now. He will not harm you. He cannot harm you anymore. And he not going anywhere.
So, what if he escapes? You know he already knows the system.
No, Cynthia. No, that cannot happen. I will make sure it doesn't.
Okay.
All right. So you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. What do you want me to do?
Good. Just go over there to the second door. The lady will ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cynthia!
She cannot hear you, Lincoln.
I want my wife.
Your wife, Lincoln. A wife is to be respected, loved, and cherished. How you do that to her? How you cherishing her when you keep using her as a punching bag, huh? How are you doing that?
Stay out of this. When? Ça passe à faire. This is none of your business.
It is my business as much as it is yours. And for the record, I was a witness. I heard you and I saw your actions like a beast on your wife. And trust me, Lincoln, my friend, it's not looking good for you.
Sacre is gosh, Koye. You think I all that bad? But you, that's the vulture. When you have been preying on my remains for the past few years. You have pretended to be my friend for so long. How could you?
I have been your friend. And I will always be your friend. But the way you treating your wife, it forces me to care for her too. I feel sorry for her, so I have to do something.
Feel sorry for her? You have been undercover, huh? Oh, selewa bien.
You know something, Lincoln? The truth, I have been in love.
Owen, I'm finished here.
Cynthia, darling, get me out of this hellhole. I suffocate in this place. Our anniversary.
How many years, Lincoln? How many years?
Well, some years. I don't know.
25 years, Lincoln. 25 years. I have tried. But the marks on my face, Lincoln, you know what? They keep reminding me I have pressed charges.
What?
I pressed charges.
I heard you the first time, eh? So revoke it now.
Are you serious?
Revoke it.
Cynthia, don't even think.
But
Cynthia, you want to take me to court?
Lincoln, I wanted you to change.
Cynthia, you would be foolish to take your own husband to court. What about the children?
The children are in agreement, Lincoln. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Usawabai, you will pay for it. When you see I get out, it's hell and damnation. Don't forget I know people, eh? Just one phone call.
Owen.
One.
Owen.
And I will fix you. Cynthia, 911, Cynthia.
Man, you see
911.
You're not letting up. You're not letting up, Lincoln. You're a bastard, you know that? Not even jail can change your ways. Cynthia, come on. Come with me. This way. Come. He'll be okay. He'll be okay.
See you soon, Lincoln.
It's okay, Cynthia. It's okay. Just come with me. Come. It'll be all right.
Mommy, why are you in Owen's arms like this?
I told y'all it was going to be hot tonight, you know. I told y'all that. I told y'all it was going to be hot tonight. Don't forget the numbers to call, especially for those of you who are overseas and you are listening and viewing on Facebook. The numbers to call: 1-758-458-2488. I want to say good evening to Mr. Jacob. And of course, the WhatsApp platform, 751-758-489-4781. And of course, the numbers apply to all and sundry. Anybody can call the number. And of course, you could put the 758 before. Of course, I want to say good evening to Della again. Good evening to you, Della. How are you doing?
Hi, good evening. I'm good, thank you.
And how's your June Creole, by the way?
Restful.
I can't believe people I do believe that. Where people
It was very restful.
Well, I was working. And it was not that restful. I have a bad back, so okay. I'm going to be doing a lot of dancing and saying ouch a lot. Yes, let's get straight into it. Straight into it. Poor Jab Evan. Poor Jab. I have to say poor Jab Evan because the man walking around the place, he is suspended. He's told that he's suspended without pay. And they open an investigation against him because of his quote-unquote type. Okay? And of course, hear what the type is. And he's speaking to Louise, you know. Telling Louise, oh, that's why the things are happening to him and so on and so on. And they're saying because he's gay, that's why he's suspended without pay. Now, I want to deal with that right away. You know, I think sometimes, you know, the laws in our country are sometimes ignored. And I don't think that is any grounds to suspend somebody without pay. Just because you suspect the person is gay. Just because you suspect the person is this or suspect the person is that. What proof you have that the man is gay? And is that part of your policy or your work policy that somebody who's gay can work at your establishment? Is it? I have to question that. I have a problem with that because you cannot mean to tell me you're going to suspect me of being this and you have no proof that it is, and just so you just suspend me without pay. I have a family to take care of. I have children to feed. I have bills to pay. Just like that.
But that is something that has been known to happen, Roger. Persons have been declined jobs because they are suspected to be of a certain sexuality or fired from their job. The challenge with that is proving that this is actually why you were denied a job, or this is why you were fired from your job. So, but it is something that has happened, has been documented, and we know that it has happened. And people think that way.
I cannot. I do not think that is anything right in any kind of way, and some people should stand up against that kind of nonsense, especially in today's world where we are a bit more liberal in our choices in our life. Look, you're going to take that kind of attitude. You decide, you say that you are, you live in the world, the wider world. You're going to take that kind of attitude and go in one of them big countries and try that.
But we also need to understand too, it's what people determine their values are. And even though, let's say, I'm a nurse, and I'm not saying that this is how nurses behave, I'm just using an example. I'm a nurse, and I know that I'm supposed to treat everybody equally.
That's right.
And I know that I'm supposed to take care of everybody. There are protocols that I need to follow, depending on what it is you're suffering with, and I need to take care of everybody equally. However, I go to church every Sunday or every Saturday, and my Bible says that you are an abomination. So when you come to me, my value is that I shouldn't appreciate people of that type, and I'm using the lingo from the drama. And so because of my value system, I now will be a little adverse to treating you with respect and treating you with the care that I'm supposed to give you. And that is something that we need to understand. We may have all of the good protocols in place to protect people, but we also dealing with people, and people have their value systems, and they have what they think is right or wrong. And at the end of the day, unless you have reached some level of self-actualization, you are going to be directed by the value system that you have.
That's right. That is very true. I of course want to say good evening to DJ Shorty. He's saying, and of course he's commenting on our WhatsApp platform. He said that is discrimination, and that should not be encouraged or supported by or from an employer. And now I agree with him.
It is.
It
is discrimination.
It is discrimination, yes.
But we also have to understand that in St. Lucia, we have laws that are discriminatory.
That is very true,
And a lot of persons, two things they will use to justify that kind of behavior. One is the laws of the country, and two is Christian morality. And
we have to put that in quote unquote. That's right.
So they are going to use these two things to justify that kind of treatment of somebody, to dehumanize another person. And so those are other things that we need to pay attention to. We have laws on our law books that makes it illegal for persons to show affection to each other in that way, even in the privacy of their own home.
Yes.
It's not just publicly, but in the privacy of their own home.
That is
that is very, very discriminatory. Why is it okay? Let's say, Roger, you and I are in a relationship. It's okay for us to be affectionate to each other, and it's okay for us to show each other love and attention, even in our own home. But if I'm in a relationship with another woman, or a man in a relationship with another man, that becomes a crime. What is the difference?
You are right. Like I said, people, they have the right to choose. You can't make up the people's mind for them. Why should that be a problem in the workplace? If the people are performing, and doing the job properly, what does their sexual preference have to do with the job?
Exactly.
You understand?
And we also need to understand, we input in this whole radio drama and everything together. We didn't just pull these stories off the top of our head. We did extensive research before we got to that point. And we still doing this work, and we're now in the regional aspect of this work, and we were reviewing some stuff from one of the countries, and one of the countries is St. Vincent, and they sent us...
Oh, that's my second one, by the way. That's why my mom... Good night, mommy.
They sent us a document, and we were reviewing the document, and they quoted one of their laws, and it by the time I was finished reading the law and understanding it properly, I had a headache.
I could imagine.
I had a serious headache because the law in the law, it speaks to gross indecency.
Gross indecency, yeah, like exposure.
Something to that regard.
Okay.
I can't.
I think it's gross indecency and exposure.
Yes, something to that extent. And when we looked up what it meant, because we didn't want to just take it, from our own understanding. And when we looked up what it meant showing any kind of affection, sexual affection to another person that does not include penetration.
Wow.
So if I'm kissing you, or if I'm touching you, or anything like that, and it's on our law books as well, you can get charged. So basically, you can't show that kind of affection to your partner in public or in private. But the law in St. Vincent is that persons of the same sex, not heterosexuals, persons who are in a relationship of the same sex, cannot show that kind of affection to their partners publicly or privately. It's against
the law. So it doesn't matter whether it's male or female. Wow.
No. If you are male, if it's a man and a woman, that's fine.
Yeah, but
if it's a woman and a woman, or a man and a man, it's against the law.
Wow.
And I find that I really got a headache reading that and understanding that law, because I'm seeing, why is that so wrong? I am not beating on somebody. I am not abusing somebody physically or verbally. I am being affectionate to somebody. I mean, I'm not expecting anybody to be having sex or taking their clothes off and doing anything like that in public. But if I'm being affectionate to my partner, even in my own home,
that's true. That's your privacy. That is your privacy, by the way.
And that is wrong.
Now there are people out there that are going to have some very adverse reactions to how people react to it. I mean, if you say, well, yes, I agree, let the people do their thing, people are going to say, yes, you need to this, that. Right. People are going to discriminate. Now, before you go that, let me just read something. Somebody else, the same DJ Shorty, he said, people make their own choices or decisions. Let God be the judge, not us humans. Because I am sure, and I'm going to say it, I am sure that there are more heinous things. There are more heinous things that you are going to judge the people do, and nobody ever sees. Okay? Yeah. Okay? You may be doing something even worse than what they're doing. They're only showing affection, love and affection towards each other. It is not you doing it. It's them doing it. Why are you being discriminatory?
So when you have a law that speaks that way, I, as a manager, can say, I don't want you in my workplace.
That's true. I mean, you are supported by the law.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's more than us just having this conversation, but it's also about understanding how other things in our society empowers persons to be discriminatory to our fellow human beings.
That is very, very true. Of course, I want to say good evening to Pretty for sure. And of course, we have somebody all the way from the United States who has joined us. And also for somebody from London. That's right, from London. I want to say welcome to Janine Lucia, who is from London. Of course, Macrina Foster, a very good friend of mine, childhood friend. Good evening to you, Macrina. How you doing? Thanks for joining. And of course, Miss Rosemary Paris. Everybody knows Rosie. Good evening to you, Rosie. One more thing on that. He does have the right to go and seek some recompense for that.
Yes,
And he can go down to the labor department and say, look,
he does.
they have me, they suspend me without pay. They're not giving me the real reason, but I get to find out it's because I'm gay. It has nothing to do with my the way that I perform on the job. It has nothing to do. They didn't tell me that I was not writing the ledger properly or putting the glasses where I was supposed to put them properly or anything like that. They just suspended me without pay because of my suspected sexual preference or sexual activity.
Yes.
And I have to say that he has recompense. Let us move on. But the sad thing is in a society where people feel that they must pay themselves on people because of how they look or how they feel, it is very, 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 very sad. Of course, I want to say good evening to Mr. Jacob. Good evening to you. Let's move on. Cynthia, and of course, Lincoln are called. But this time, it has a little twist to it. So, Cynthia is asking Owen, who is the arresting officer, and who also kind of secretly or openly now, maybe, is in love with Cynthia. She wants to see her husband, and she is pleading with Owen, I want to see my husband. Now, Owen is trying to make her understand, let me tell you something, okay? Don't you think you should just leave the man and just let him, leave him alone. Let him pay for his sins, okay? They have nowhere in the law or in the law of God or wherever it's written that when you married for better or for worse. But the worse does not include him beating on you for the last 30 years. So let him suffer and let him pay for what he's done. Cynthia Pavley Tonsa. Ivle, where Lincoln?
It's her husband.
But
very,
no, tale. The husband?
But it's what you want me to tell you, Roger? It's her husband.
Her husband?
Eh.
You didn't know that she was your wife and you was beating on her like that? Huh? Tous les jours comme ça pour trois l'année.
Of course he knows.
Of
course he knows it's his wife. Remember he said
that
my wife.
My wife, my property.
He knows it's his wife. But the lady wanted to see her husband. I was reading something on Facebook either yesterday or this morning, and it says that our divorce rate, we are aware that our divorce rate is higher now than it was before. And millennials are getting a tough time from older folk telling them that, they don't fight for their relationships or stick to their relationships. Before it goes wrong, they walk away. But this was the first time I had seen somebody phrase it that way. And the person was saying, while they applaud their grandmothers for sticking to their relationships, but underneath what conditions did they stick to their relationships? Yes. Some of them stuck to their relationships because they had no other choice. They had no job. They had very few skill sets, and they depended on the man to take care of them and to take care of the household. Also, when you stick to a relationship and the man is not home, he's an alcoholic, he beats on you, he's disrespectful, and all of those other things, but you have to stay in this relationship, take care of the children, take care of him, and take care of the household. We have a different mindset now where women are more independent and women are more empowered and women are able to take care of themselves in a different way.
Exactly. I was just about to say.
I don't think that them choosing not to stay in that kind of a relationship makes them less committed to having a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship as opposed to our grandparents before. But we give young persons like myself a really tough time because we choose not to remain in these kinds of relationships. But Cynthia is really battling with that.
That's right.
And, we know she's of an older generation and that's the way that they would have handled the relationship then. And she is now coming to understand that she deserves not being a punching bag, but being appreciated, being loved, being supported, and being cared for by her partner. And we see her beginning to come around to that understanding and taking a stand for herself. But the important part of that is that Cynthia is now able to do that because she is slowly coming to the realization that she has some level of support.
But that's right.
She's not standing on her own in it. And that is very,
Yes.
very important when you're dealing with persons who are in domestic violence situations. Having a support system is very, very important. It might seem tedious and tiring and frustrating being there with this person and talking to them and asking them to, get out of this thing and think about yourself. And it's like you're a broken record saying the same thing over and over
again.
But at some point, they will hear the scratches on the record and it will click in their head and something will happen. Let's hope it happens before the situation gets really bad.
In this case, I'll take a chance and say, well, praise God for Owen. Yeah. But anyway, DJ Shorty saying, beaten on her for 25 years. What if someone was beating on his mom or sister or his daughter for 25 years? What do you do? Yeah.
Oh, Sergeant Slaughter would not take that.
Well, now,
but that is very interesting, Roger? That's a very interesting dynamic. A lot of the men who do behave in that way don't want anybody to touch their mother or their sister or their child.
I was just coming and say that, you're doing it, but when it fall in your plate now, and when it comes to visit your place now, what happened? What you going to do? Kill the person? Commit even a worse or heinous act to bring some soulagement to the person's life.
Here's something quite interesting. Lincoln is here beating on his wife and being all kinds of terrible. But he has a problem with his daughter because she loves somebody of the same sex.
Boy, that's just kind of a way there. Now, you see, look, questions that I would probably ask. Anybody that in the same situation is Cynthia? I know a few.
We know a lot.
I know a few. I want to say a few. I don't want to say a whole hell of a lot.
We know a lot of persons.
There are a lot of people that are going through that.
And that situation.
Probably they stay there because of their children.
Well,
you're right, because of the unemployed.
People say that they stay because of the children.
Markwell.
My personal opinion is you're doing more damage than good when you do that.
Yeah, but I don't believe it's just for the children.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. That's because you are afraid to leave because you're afraid of what he's going to do next.
Yeah.
That's why you're staying in it.
But at this point, I want to give a very important number. It's a hotline that is attached to the Department of Gender, where it's also attached to Women's Affairs, where you can get assistance if you are in a situation where you're dealing with domestic violence. You can call this hotline and there will be somebody there to assist you and to help you. And that number is 202.
You heard that, people? 202.
Yes.
Mark it down. Put it on the wall. For any of you that are going through that kind of thing that Cynthia is going, take a big marker and put it on the wall. You can disguise it so it's you alone that know what's going on there. Because there are some people already. Yes. What's that number there for? And it's more licks you're going to get. Right. This guy, put some flowers, draw it nice. 202. Okay. You understand?
Yes. Yeah. That's a very important number. Also, we know sometimes when you're going through that situation, it's a bit of a challenge. There is also the suicide hotline, which is 203. These numbers are very important. And it's just 3 simple numbers that you can call to get assistance in those times of need. It's 202 and 203.
203. Okay, so you could even play it and play the numbers now. So you have choices now. You have a choice. You have choices. 202, 203. Tell them it's the lucky something. Lotto. Yeah.
Yeah, and please, for persons out there who are dealing with this situation, you are not alone. There are other people who have dealt with it. There are other people who have come out of it. There are other people who have not survived it. But there are people out there who are able to help and who are willing to help. And it's just a matter of deciding that, you know what, it's time that I get some help.
Okay. Moving on, but I I have to get back to I have to reach to the bottom of that one there, because you see that one now troubling me. But anyway, we'll get to it. Eve and Louise. Eve is blaming herself for her father's pain and imprisonment.
But Roger, you have to understand, it's her father, eh?
I playing devil's advocate there.
Yes,
hold on, Tale.
but it's her father.
Father.
At the end of the day, it's her father, and she wants the love and affection of her father. She wants the approval of her father.
All the time the man was trying to beat you up and throw you out of the house, and now he getting a chance to pay. Even you that was saying he was beating up on the mother and all, and now
is her father. There's no other way that I can explain it. There's nothing else that I can say outside of.
That you're like a Kalmajai, but you don't know how to go. You don't know which way to turn. I want him to pay. I want him to change. He have to pay for all the things he called me. But he's my daddy.
But at least she understands that he has to pay for all of the things that he has done.
Yes, but she's blaming herself
because she feels that if she was not there, he would not have first had the heart attack, because he had the heart attack in front of her because of his anger.
That's right.
And then she also was in the house when he hit the mother and he got arrested.
Wow.
So
she's blaming herself for all that. Maybe her presence kind of triggered that whole thing.
Right.
Eve, let me tell you something, eh? Lincoln that do it, not you. Bah. In that case, I cannot say, and I'm staying on the side of the devil for a little while. I can't say feel sorry for him at that point. I'm very sorry. I cannot say it. Just for conversation's sake. No, don't feel sorry for him. He that do it, not you.
Of course, he did it, and he has to suffer the consequences of his actions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Of course, the conversation goes into Evan's suspension and all kind of thing, and it now Louise was telling her, hey, well, he was working in the hotel and so on and so on, and Eve saying, well, yes, I was working there and everybody was doing their thing and so on and so on, and then the question comes up now, how you think Evan get the job? But how did Evan get the job?
Well, I as lost as you are. I'm waiting for the next episode for me to hear.
I cannot wait until next Monday.
Yes, so I can hear what's happening.
Boy, that was the big one, eh? You know how we get the job. That's how St. Lucia's like to be. And some of my partners like to tell me I like to speak in parables. But sometimes it's good to speak in parables. Let you figure it out. I don't know already. You think it's just I'll just come and tell you next, you won't tell the people it's me that say, and then you get vexed with me because it's I that say. No. Yeah, how you think it happened?
Well, let's see.
Let us see. Let us wait. We have to wait until next episode to find out. Now let's go back to Owen and Cynthia and Lincoln. Now, while I understand that, Owen is a police officer, he needs to speak to his client because Cynthia at this point is his client because her husband has, was beating on her and did beat her or hit her to the point where her face is bleeding and all kind of thing in the presence of an officer, which was at the time Owen, who happens to be a family friend. Okay, Lincoln is trying to persuade Cynthia to press charges. Okay, now she does press charges after a little persuasion. You try to coerce, but he's coerced her into pressing the charges, and when he's even warned her, look, you have to stand firm, and I think that's good advice. For 30 years, you're taking a beating. Finally, you have somebody standing on your side telling you, yeah, you have him where you have him in the right spot now. He needs to answer for his offenses. And that is an offense, by the way. You can't beat up on your wife. You're not supposed to beat anybody in the first place. Anyway. Okay? So, Lincoln, Cynthia finally meets Owen. No, sorry. Cynthia meets Lincoln and they're talking and so on. And when Owen thought that Cynthia would be weak, she had that little, Lucozade, and she pressed charges against him. Lincoln Pavlitanza. Instead of Lincoln trying and, plead and beg for his little freedom there, he get more vexed. What makes it worse is, and probably Lincoln didn't check that was going to happen, but Owen was finally going to admit that, well, he kind of admit, but Lincoln didn't hear. I did. I did, and I'm sure other listeners did. Okay? Yes, the truth is, I love, and it stopped there. Who he love?
Well, we'll have to wait and see who he loves.
But no, somebody dégage him. I have to put it somebody, well, they kind of dégage him. They're well dégage him yet because they're asking questions. But, that kind of thing happens a lot when it comes to domestic violence issues, especially with the police here, especially with certain people who feel they have authority to do such. That does happen a lot. Now, I don't want to blame the police officers who kind of engage in that kind of thing and prey on the I don't know, the sympathy. No, that's not the right way to say it. But you're preying on the vulnerability of the person at the time. That happens. Let us not get away from it. There have a few things in that there that we can't get away from. That's one. Number two, you're a police officer. That is your client. You have to deal with it right. When everything is said and done, you can do what you want. But I do not think that it was appropriate for me to go and tell Lincoln or try to tell Lincoln while he is behind bars, after you claim that he's your man friend, that you're in love with his woman. Well, I don't think that's right.
I'm not sure the extent of the friendship anymore. Maybe Owen just got tired.
Or he just saw, he said, when he had
It could be that too. It
Yes.
could be an opportunity to pinch him and make him feel it a little bit more.
Yes, but you never know. Cynthia might go back to
Well, you don't.
We don't know
you
that.
never know.
We never know. But it is something that happens in our everyday life. That it does happen. And sometimes, and I do not want to put ladies or women on the spot or throw that, but it's a two-way street to it. Sometimes because you feel, well, you want the police to do something for you, well, it happens. Party perfect. Huh? Don't try and say, people, let's be honest, it happens. And that's another ill in our society. And I think we need to kind of fix or deal with. It's just not cool at all. But you see, Kina kind of catch him. What you doing holding my mother? We'll have to wait until next episode to find out what is really, really going on. But going back to Cynthia, I think, I think she's doing the right thing. Hold on, let me see. Somebody just sent a message. Somebody say, haha, Owen has ulterior motives from times Lincoln knew it all along. Cynthia, you're not no doctor, but good job. Monsieur, boy. And of course, that's from our friend who always calls. Mm-hmm. She just decided to. And of course, I want to say good evening to Mr. Charles, who is online. Bennett, good evening to you. But I'm happy though that Cynthia has the strength to report it. Of course, there are support groups for that. I think not just the 202 or 203 numbers, but I know some people, who kind of meet, who are in likewise situations.
There's
and of
also
course,
Raise Your Voice and
yes.
Lucia, who works
Raise Your Voice, that's
with
it.
women
That's it.
who are victims of domestic violence.
That's it.
So that is also there on Facebook.
Yes.
You can reach them. If you go onto Facebook, you'll find them. You can send them a private message and reach them that way. So yes, there's Raise Your Voice, and Lucia is doing some wonderful work with women who suffer from domestic violence.
And I have to commend Cynthia for at least mustering up the courage to stand up against that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
Especially after 30 years.
25.
Not the 30. I know why I'm saying 30 because maybe it was a little bit longer before they got married. I don't know. But okay, 25 years in a marriage and you take in that kind of thing. yes, bravo to you. You have finally mustered up the courage to see I deserve not to be treated like that. I deserve to be respected. I'm not your punching bag. I'm not your property. Okay, I am a human being with dignity and rights. Exactly. Okay, and I'm going to exercise all of it. And I'm so very happy.
It all speaks to understanding what your rights are as a person, as a human being that you are entitled to. It also, we need to make a better effort because they say ignorance of the law is no excuse. So we need to make a better effort to avail ourselves of the laws of our country. You can find the criminal code online.
Yes, it is.
You can find the Domestic Violence Act online. You can find the, I think it's the Protection of Children Act.
Yes,
something to
Child
that
Protections
extent.
Act.
You can
online.
Find that online as well. It's all available.
Yes.
So it's a matter of availing yourself of the information and knowing how to protect yourself, one, and also how you can use the law to your advantage.
Yes.
Because I want to take this moment to speak about something in our law. And I'm saying it deliberately, and I'm speaking about the laws of our country deliberately so that we can understand how we can use the laws to our benefit and just not say that there is no reprieve for me because this is what the law says.
Yes.
Through our work and our research, we found out, in working with the police, we found out that when we speak about rape, legally, a husband cannot rape a wife. That is what our law speaks to. However, what a wife can do is that instead of, and it's going to take a little bit of challenge for the person. However, if you go in and you report a physical abuse or go and show some sign of being beaten
yes,
during the act, then you can press charges.
Okay.
And get assistance for that. If there is no sign of it happening, then there's nothing that you can do. And that came up when we had the situation between Louise and Evan.
Okay.
And but that is the way that you can deal with that law and get some reprieve for yourself in the situation. And we have other laws that we can look at and that we can use them still to help us in our situations. And it's not just a matter of saying, you know what, this is what the law says. So we need to make a very big effort to avail ourselves of the laws, to know what the laws of our country are and how we can use those laws, because we understand that some of them may work against us, but it's a matter of understanding it and seeing how you can use it to your advantage.
With the few minutes that we have left, I just want to, kind of stretch that and go the other way with it, and of course appeal to the men. Sometimes we as men feel, well, we in charge. And when we want what we want, we must get what we want, especially when we are in a marital relationship, not just a common law, but you're married to the person, you cannot refuse me. Really.
I think that we're unfortunate.
I think that is an unfortunate way of looking at it, gentlemen or men. Okay? If the lady says no, is no, because you can say no too, Don't feel when you see she come and she want a thing, you cannot say no. You can say no. Darling, I'm tired. I do not want to go to heaven tonight. We shall try 2 days later or something. You can say that.
Everybody has the right to say no.
Everybody has the right to choose.
Male or female.
Right. Now, in that very same vein, okay, the woman don't have the right to beat up on you for it. You do not have the right to beat up on her for it. Just because you are married.
Yeah.
Once she says no, or once you say no, that should be it. No. You could ask why. Maybe she has a headache. Maybe she's tired. Maybe it's that time of the month. Maybe it's something. Maybe she's thinking and she's just not in the mood.
Or maybe she just doesn't
want to.
Or you just don't want to.
You understand? No. But the first thing they'll think is, you're cheating. You have somebody else out there. Or
sometimes that's true, Roger.
Well, of course it's true. That's why I'm saying it. You understand? But why is it that, why is it that you must use, you must beat up on your person to sleep with them, to have sex?
It's unfortunate.
To me, that is an enjoyable time. Yeah, God gave that so that a man and a woman can enjoy one another physically. You understand? You're going to take it forcefully and have the woman scratching you and beating you and biting you and all kind of thing. Just because you want it? Wait, partner. Take your time. And I'm saying that to the ladies too, because these days, the roles have reversed. Some of them getting a little bit more aggressive than men. And I just wanted to say that because many a time, I have heard stories where, I tell him no, he didn't want to. He was arguing, he was fighting with me, so I just give it to him. No, you are belittling yourself. You are demeaning yourself, woman, lady, girl, whoever. When you do that, no means no. And for whatever reason it is, your no must be accepted. Because you do not want to do it. That is your right to choose. It comes down again, people, to the right to choose. I choose to kiss you tonight. I choose not to accept kisses from you tomorrow night. Okay? It is your right. I'm not making no joke about the kisses and the thing. I'm just stressing on the point that it is your right to say yes. It is your right to say no. It is your right to choose whatever lifestyle you want to live. It is your right. You can choose what job you want to do too. Mm-hmm. It is your right. Any last words, ma'am?
I just wanna, while we were talking, I remembered something that I read. A woman said that I need feminism because when a man walks into a room filled with women, he feels excited. When a woman walks into a room filled with men, she feels fear.
You mean threatened?
Fear.
Fear. Whoa.
So that is something.
That's something to think about, eh?
Think about.
A woman walking into a room with others and she feels fear.
Yeah.
That should not be. Sorry, I have to say that when I walk into a room with her, I feel very intimidated. Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm intimidated. Boy, hey, that. You think I'm in the right place? I wonder which one of them will say, what me doing? Yeah, but that's true. I think
yes.
I try to make a joke, trying to keep it on the light side too. But yes, but it's a very serious thing, a very, very, very serious statement. Mm-hmm. And if you really think about it, it is sad that a woman would have to feel fear when she walks into a room with men. Is it really and truly a man's world? Okay, I have to ask the question, is it, and I know them two fellas going to take me on later on tonight, but I'm going to say it. Do you think really and truly that women are the weaker vessel?
I'll leave that for you to answer.
No, the fellas have to answer that for themselves. You understand? I've always said it. When God created man and woman, he gave the woman something that he didn't give to the man. And he gave the man something that he didn't give to the woman. And I believe one of those things that he gave to the woman was strength. I think they have more strength than us. They just tolerate a lot of nonsense. They have this strength. They just carry it on their back. And we feel we're stronger than them. Really. Again, I have to say, and of course I'm going to end like this. If you see something happening that is not right, you have a right to speak up. Don't just stay there and don't say nothing. It is, what is it? They say, look man, something bad happening, okay? The worst thing that can happen is somebody that can do something about it. Don't say anything or don't do anything. Speak up. Of course, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining. It was a pleasure being with you.
Always.
Today, of course, I have to thank DJ Shorty for the comments. I'm not going to say the last comment that he made. But yes, the hotline numbers again. Of course, it is 202, am I correct? Yes. And 203. The two things. And of course, men can call also.
Yes,
men, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If you are in trouble, you can also call. Yes. And of course, that's something again that, probably in the next season that might be dealt with, domestic violence against men. Like I said, it's not all of us that strong. Okay? Once again, I want to say good evening to you and thank you for joining us. Hopefully we will be with you again, God's willing, next Monday for another exciting and of course, lots of answers will come out from the next episode of I Write. Thank you and good evening to all of you.
The Maximum Music Authority hits.
I Write. St. Lucia's latest radio drama.
This man is making me crazy. I cannot deal with this.
With Bienfait, I Write.
I just can't with all of these responsibilities.
Every Monday.
I hear the two. And you perpetuating them kind of nastiness.
St. Lucia's latest hot radio drama.
The Maximum Music Authority hits.